first thing in the morning, kind of lead us into our gathering. My name is Karen Williams, and I am a practitioner here at Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, and I will be guiding us all through our experience today. It's really great to see all of you. It's really great to be here. So we're going to begin, as we always do, with our opening song. Please stand up and let's sing together. We do all right. We do all right. So again, good morning. Welcome to our celebration service. Welcome to those of you who are joining us online. It's great to have you here as well. Cal is, who was just singing, leading us in our congregational song. Cal is your communication link from social media. So if you would be willing to say hi to him, say hi to us, let us know that you're here so that we can greet you as well. Welcome in. So we begin with where we're at. And where we're at is in a minister search. So we're kind of in that in-between space where we were and where we're going to be, which is really where we always are. But formally in a minister search. So one of the things that we do to anchor our intention with that as a community is to read it's called a Sacred Minister Covenant Easy Prayer. It's in green. I got lost. So please, let's read this together. There is only one life. This life is good, this life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to glorify God, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as love. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written, I dwell in the house of love. Love attends me in my home of the soul. I shall never leave this home of the spirit. I shall abide in this home forevermore. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as revealing the truth and power of love. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am powerfully expressing divine love, inspiring all to do the same. I am blessing and honoring all paths of spirituality, awakening deeper truths and spiritual growth. I am a place where God shows up, expressing divine love, allowing truth and joy to heal all. I am embracing, teaching, and exploring spiritual truths from diverse spiritual teachings. And I am teaching and embodying prosperity, trusting that God is the source of my good. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will glorify God and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. Amen. Just a few brief announcements before we get into the heart of our service. There is a call that has been put out for volunteers for our new space. Our new space has new requirements, and so if you are willing to fill any of these requirements, please see a sign-up sheet Cynthia is holding up by the front door, and you can sign up for a time, a date, and a task. And thank you. There will be a community meeting, I hope you all know, today after service. And we're going to really quickly break down the sound and set up a circle for our meeting. So in that period of time, feel free to take time to grab a bite. We have some things here. And for our meeting itself, I hope that you have some comments or some suggestions or just some love to spread to the community. As for services that we provide for our community, we have a Wednesday night intention circle that happens every Wednesday night, and it is at 7 p.m. This is facilitated by myself and by Cynthia Zink, both practitioners here, and we do this via Zoom. We do this for a myriad of reasons, primarily which is to court and to nurture and encourage miracles in our lives. We also have care circles in our community. If you don't know what a care circle is, those of you who are in a care circle, would you raise your hand? These are people who are in care circles, and for those of you who are online, I will just tell you very briefly, it is an opportunity once a month to get together and to dive deep into who we are as individuals and what this teaching means to us, what life means to us, and we get to talk about it and go deeper with it in a place that is safe and loving and caring, as its name implies. We are also we have other services that we provide, and you will find them all on our website, on our Facebook page when they come up. We're in Alignable, am I correct in that? Not Alignable, Meetup, and Eventbrite, that's the one. I also wanted to share just really quickly, because this is a year-long thing that I am doing, and I encourage all of you through my posts on my Facebook page and that I share with the Genesis Family page. If you're not a member of the Genesis Family page, please put a request in to be a part of that. I am doing the daily readings to read this entire text in 1 year. And it might look like a lot, but the readings are very short and very sweet and very powerful, and I would encourage you to jump in at any time, but right now is a really good time because we are talking about our thoughts and the power of our thoughts. Super, super rich right now. All right, enough about all that. You can find more, as I said, in those other places. Now, because I want to get to the juice, which is where we get to stand up and greet each other and say hi if we haven't already done that. So please take a moment to mill around and say hi.
Hi, how's it going? I realized we didn't have any. I offered you my and I was trying to protect your time, and then I still have it.
do that again. Isn't it great to do that again?
Yes, so good.
So good. Thanks. Is there anybody here for the first time? I don't think so. Some of you first time in our new space. I'm happy for it. Anybody online here for the first time? Okay. And before we get started, excuse me, does everybody have their prayer card and their collection envelope? If you don't, there's some in the back and there's some in the front. I'm going to take a minute before we bring up our practitioner of the day to thank our volunteers. We put that call out this morning because we know that it's volunteers truly that make all of this happen, that create the space for us to come into and partake of our community together. So I want to begin by thanking, as always at the top, Cynthia Zink. Cynthia Zink is most every Sunday greeting everybody as you come in and setting up that space where you have access to those prayer cards and collection envelopes and information that you might need, and she'll answer any question that you have or make a serious attempt at it. She's also our volunteer coordinator, so as I said, she would be able to help facilitate your volunteering here herself. Soren is back here running our sound. He's back behind the music there, yeah. We have Michael Johns running our camera for all of those of you who are watching, and he's running the PowerPoint that's behind us here. And as I mentioned before, Cal is your communication link for those of you who are online. Our practitioner this morning is Christine S. Young. We typically have had a meditation in the morning, but we're no longer able to facilitate that in the morning, but you can always find them on our YouTube channel. Genesis CSL, I believe, is our YouTube channel. You can also find them on our Facebook page and on our website, meditations at your fingertips, any time of the day, 24/7, 365. So, please check that out. Before I invite our anchoring practitioner, Christine S., up, we're going to sing together that song that takes us into the space where we're ready for her words and what she has to offer for us. So if you'll please sing together, Out Beyond.
understanding, out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field, I'll meet you there. There's a field, I'll meet you there.
We just allow ourselves to take a centering breath as we just allow the gong sound to wash over us. This morning I have some sacred readings for you. The first one is from the Holy Bible. The version that I'm reading is the George Lambsa version. This is from the book of John, chapter 1, verse 1 through 5. The Word was in the beginning, and that very Word was with God, and God was that Word. Everything came to be by His hand, and without Him, not even one thing that was created came to be. Everything came to be by His hand, and without Him, not even one thing that was created came to be. The life was in Him, and the life is the light of men. And the same light shines in darkness, and the darkness does not overcome it. I have another reading for us from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. This is on page 68. This section is titled, The Thought of God, the Word of God. The Word of God means the power of spirit to declare itself into manifestation, into form. The Word of God means the self-contemplation of spirit. The manifest universe, as we see it, as well as the invisible universe, which must also exist, is the result of the self-contemplation of God. He spake, and it was done. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by Him, and without Him, not anything made that was made. The starting point of all creation is the Word of Spirit. The Word is the concept, idea, image, or thought of God. It is the self-knowing mind, speaking itself into manifestation. The word back of everything is its initial cause. The term thought seems to mean more to us than any other term in this connection. It seems to cover the meaning better, for we know that thought is an inner process of consciousness. The thought of God must be the cause of all that really exists. And as there are many existing things, there must be many thoughts in the mind of the infinite. This is the logical to suppose, for an infinite mind would be necessarily conceive an infinite variety of ideas. Hence the world of multiplicity are many things, but the word of multiplicity does not contradict the world of unity, for the many live in the one. This concept of unity is the mystical secret of the ages, the key to spiritual wisdom and to the teaching of Jesus. So at this time, I'd like to invite you to just join me in prayer. Close your eyes if it feels comfortable for you. We just turn to a space of inner awareness, recognizing that there is only one word. That word speaks life, and that life is the expression of love itself unfolding all around us in all ways, always. And so as this love unfolds, I recognize that each one of us are an individualized demonstration, the Word made manifest, that we are an individualized expression of love, that one life, that great and powerful purpose. So we just allow ourselves in this moment to relax into the truth of our being, that we are individualized expressions of love. We relax into the recognition of our being that we have been born of the Word. That sacred and holy Word has been spoken to bring each of us into demonstration in physical form. So we just relax into the understanding that with that great power comes a great responsibility, and that I am enough, and I need not be afraid. So as we come together this morning, I speak my word, knowing that as we hear our lesson, we allow ourselves to be available to an opening, to a deeper evolution and a deeper knowing of our own being, so that we may evolve as spiritual beings, knowing that we are more easily able to be in the richness and fullness of creative expression. And as we notice that the creative expression of life can sometimes be messy, I know that we are built for it, and I know that we get to choose, and that we get to create, and we get to experiment. So I just say yes to opening myself to a richer blessing and a fuller understanding of the love that I am here on earth. So I know that we are absolutely blessed, knowing that we are safe and available for this work we do here together this morning. And I am just deeply grateful for this opportunity, deeply grateful for our spiritual leadership that comes to us in so many forms, and deeply grateful for the awareness that we are never anywhere other than in the arms of the Almighty, sacredly expressing. So I release this little word unto the law, knowing that it is done and made manifest in this very moment. And so it is. And it's my great privilege this morning to introduce to you our guest artist. This is a woman that always touches my soul when she sings, so I'm delighted she's here to share with us. I'd like to welcome Sheila. I'd like to welcome Sheila to the stage. Come on up, sweetheart.
Hi, Genesis.
Hi.
I'm deeply grateful to be invited back here to sing. And I just wanted to sing a little tiny chorus before I go into my regular song of a song I used to sing to God a long time ago. There is no one like you, Spirit, no one like you. You have always been there when I needed you most. There is no one like you. But this song you guys know, so you might want to get up and clap, and I need some background singers, so can you help me out?
just need a minute anyway. Yeah. I want to take a minute to acknowledge and introduce Reverend Lynnea Jardine. She is the founder and CSO, which is Chief Spiritual Officer of the Spiritual Care Institute. She has an organization that supports people in times of grief, loss, crisis, and challenge to maintain wellness and wholeness with spiritual care and counseling, retreats, and workshops. She serves the greater Puget Sound since becoming a licensed practitioner in 1988 and an ordained minister in 2004. Lynnea helps people solve spiritual and emotional challenges, transforms uninspired behaviors, and helps open minds and hearts to their greatest potential. Please welcome all of that.
Oh my God, the music. Whew. I have to tell you. So I got up about 4 o'clock this morning. It happens. It happens, especially on the day of speaking. It's just God and I are one. But I was shaking a lot. And I like my house cold, but this was really cold, but I wasn't really aware of it until I was really shaking. Is this on?
Yeah, so I guess the cord is becoming jangled. Do you want to use the handheld?
This is not working?
It is working, but the cord input is kind of like, it's not working.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not working.
So turn me off then. I guess it's fine, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I'll turn you on. Yeah, he can do. Whoa.
I'm ready for you.
Okay. Sure. Anyway, so no surprise that might happen, going in and out. Because anyway, so I woke up and then I noticed I was shaking and I was typing and I was shaking and I'm like, wait a second, what am I doing? And then this song was the first thing I heard when I walked in. And when I first became a practitioner, and I forgot it was 1988, it was, I had, the Wednesday was my service, and I served that. And she had, Dr. Clancy was her name, and she did a daytime one as well, not just in the evening. Anyways, every time it was my turn to serve, I would be shaking before I had to pray. And I was like, this is so unnerving. And I asked one of our practitioners who'd been around forever, and she just felt like a spirit was moving in me. So when I found this song that Ricky sung, it makes me calm down. So, whoa, spirit is moving in us this morning, and I think it's a reflection of what's happening here. And I haven't been around a community in a while, so it's just really delightful to be here in so many ways. And you have no idea about this topic. It's been working me, as I said in our prayer circle before we started this morning. So Don Miguel Ruiz wrote this book, and the book is The Four Agreements. And he wrote it 25 years, well, it's actually 26 years ago now. And what's intriguing about that is it's like I asked Eric, so why do you want to talk about that for a month? And I just thought of it the other day. I thought, I better ask Eric what this is about. And he goes, the principles are so powerful. You know, it's good to revisit. So that's why I went looking for a current interview with Don Miguel. Now, you probably don't know this, but December 22nd, he had his second heart transplant.
Wow.
So he's living 3 lives, right? Unbelievable. He started as a physician. He started as a neurosurgeon. So it's interesting. He said in 1980, he felt like he needed to understand as a neurosurgeon the workings of the mind. So that's what took him into this incredible, not past, but walk with his ancestors and to find out, because he's Toltec, which is Teotihuacan, Mexico, the sacred place there. That's the religion of that area. And he really didn't take that on until all of a sudden he started to look at what is true about spirituality and the mind.
So, do you know that this book has sold 12 million copies? It's been translated into 46 languages. Anyways, he went back, and his premise was to look at what is a pure mind and how does one live an authentic life. And I found that premise fascinating. So what is a pure mind? The 4 Agreements was the answer, is what he found out. It's a code of conduct. And so I thought, because some of you may or may not have read it recently. Anybody read it? Okay. And anybody looked at it recently? I know, 25 years. So I'm going to just give you a quick broad stroke overview. And it takes about a minute.
Right.
The 4 Agreements is a practical guide and tool of Toltec wisdom, revealing the source of our limiting beliefs. And number 1, be impeccable with your word. Whew, I can feel spirit just coming through me, and I've got to slow down a minute. Wow, I've never had this happen before. And on TV, too. 1 minute.
No pressure.
No pressure. 1 minute. Yeah, be impeccable with your word, meaning speak with integrity. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Avoid gossip about others, but avoid gossip with yourself. 2, don't make assumptions, always ask questions. This is the number 1 thing that causes needless drama and sadness in life. 3, don't take anything personally. Whatever others say or do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. Once you make yourself immune to the opinions of others about you or them, you avoid needless suffering and drama. And 4, always do your best. Means take actions from the newfound wisdom. And then you don't realize this because it came out much later, but there was a 5th principle. And the 5th principle is perception. Knowing the difference between truth, science, and perception is an art through which the principle of awareness comes through. So there's a goal. The 4 Agreement is about taking action in life and being aware. And in your observation, there'll be transformation, and you'll cultivate faith, and you'll have healthy doubt and listening and critical thinking. Isn't that a great reason to even look at this again?
Yeah.
Critical thinking. So together, these 4 agreements are the art of transformation and resilient, dynamic processing of life. But why? Why bother? You know, I don't know about you, but a lot of people don't want to explore and think about this. Any of you there's a new term for it. It's called it's about normalcy, but it's a process, and we keep trying to normalize things that we really can't normalize. And that desire to normalize things, he suggests, comes from this phenomenon called domestication. Now, that is a fascinating word. And domestication is defined in this book really seriously, so I'm going to read what I pulled out of it. Domestication are the rules of the family and society downloaded into memory. While we're mastering language, trying to make sense of our life, we're making meaning. Everything felt real. You know, our parents, our families, our feedback from our world, it all felt real. And it was a world that we lived in innocence. We were gathering knowledge and we were forming beliefs. But is this all real? Gathering beliefs that there was a certain way to be accepted and behave. We didn't know that this might not be the truth. There's no filters. There was nothing we could do about that information coming in. And it was connected to our language. So word is fascinating. I'm so grateful what you chose to read. Oh, it's perfect today. Because in the beginning is the word. And in Science of Mind, oh, it is so powerful that the whole exploration is about the word. And so to find both the Bible and the word in Science of Mind is really interesting. I love how spirit works. Even though I'm not talking to you, there it is. So anyways, domestication is the point of really this talk. Like, what is in there? What have you put in there?
and consciously. Now, and another reason for this is fascinating because we might notice our self-talk has themes and words, but what are they doing? Most of us don't even take the time to look at it. But then something's going on in our life and it's not really going so well. We don't like our results, we're not happy. And one of the foundational principles of Science of Mind is about our happiness. We talk about, that happiness is a goal. But if we're not happy, what are we going to do with that? Well, one of the things is to do deep exploration, and we use classes as that method. But we also found that this method with Don Miguel was in synchronicity of a huge kind. Every church took him on and brought him in. In fact, I got to work with him for a day here in Seattle before his first heart transplant. And it was fascinating. He spent the whole day with, I think there were 70 of us in the room. And it was the first time anybody was really working this stuff. But a lot of us were religious scientists, so it was great. It just took us deeper. And if you look at the book, which I left in the car, it is unbelievably verbose, not unlike our founder, Ernst Holmes. And it goes on and on and on. But there comes a time where it's important to explore the verbosity that we've put into our subconscious. And to see if my results aren't showing up the way I want them to be, I might want to take a walk there and look. Now, it isn't always the truth that it's well, it is the truth, because one of the things that he was talking about in this lecture was the difference, so it's 25 years later than the book. He's talking about virtual reality and reality. And I just thought it was so interesting because for the last 2 years, we've been living in a lot of virtual reality. Our churches, our exploration, the classes I'm taking, they're all in virtual reality. So it's sort of catching up to what's happening. And this is a kind of weird story, but I was living in New Mexico, and it was the first time I heard and watched MTV. It had come out. It was brand new technology. And when I was in college, I studied a book about the medium is the message, so I was already very suspect about media. We're talking a long time ago, MTV. Watched a song, I didn't like that song, yet I saw this song. Well, all right, the next time it was on the radio, and I was raised with the phenomena of name that tune in 3 notes. So my brain's sort of already there. The whole song, including all the pictures, were in my brain like that. And because it was unfiltered, I don't think most of us have the clue that that is going on all the time. When I teach teenagers, I bring up my story because it's real. And again, is it in choice? I did not feel like there was a lot of choice in that moment because it was not a song I would have cared one iota about. And yet I knew it, I knew the rhythm. Anyways, so there's a reasoning that most of us probably have experiences like what I had that are saying, hey, wake up, it's time to go look. Are you familiar with the Hendricks? They wrote several really great books. And Oprah was interviewing them. And he said, about the age 35, the calling cards show up, the cards you were dealt as from your family. And you have this crisis of, they call it midlife crisis, of having to look at what's going on. Where did this come from? Is this my authentic message and what I really want? So being impeccable with my word is an incredible gift because you begin to say, you know what is my word and what do I want it to be? And then when you mirror it with religious science, it's awesome because now you're coming from a different database. As you look at one thing, you can add another, and it's really lovely. But that's just my belief. I'm going to teach you a little more to see why I believe that. So one of my favorite books, do I need to take this with me? Okay. I'm just going to point to it. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm good. We're good. So one of my favorite books is a basic book of science of mind, and it has this wonderful little diagram in it. So I drew it because I had to. Anyways, So are you familiar with the metaphysical charts that we use in teaching? Well, they have a power and intelligence in them. So if you haven't a chance, I invite you to go to the textbook and take some time and really figure out what's going on there. We use it in a lot of our classes too, which is where this creative process, well, I'll show you more about that in a second. But the idea is that spirit, maybe I will take this off. Just a second. Straightforward. Perfect. Okay. So just this top part. In the metaphysical idea, we said, and you said, we're all one, right? God is all there is. How in the heck is that true? So they came up with some diagrams to help us process it, because it helps. Anyways, this one says that it's all one, but where am I? I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of this thing called oneness. Everything is filtering through me. Everything is challenging me or not challenging me. And if it's challenging me, in science of mind, we have a method to go through it, and it's called the law. So we have spirit, we have the law, and then we have the physical form. Now, I realize I'm jumping in kind of, I don't know my audience. Has anybody taken classes? Yeah. Okay, so I don't have to explain too much, but the idea is that there's one area in the world, and we're the center of our universe. And in the center of our universe, if we don't understand the power of the word and the law and how it shows up, that's what I meant, like you don't really like your results, that's the form, that's your results. Then I might want to take a look at where is this coming from? If it's all God, how come I've gotten anything but God showing up in my life? So maybe you could help me with this. So it's just like a little, sticky. And this is what's really going on underneath that little thing. So talk about verbosity. You can put that on the floor. It's okay. The verboseness of science of mind, though, is helpful, because if we really take a slow down and look at what's going on in our lives, then we start to have the life of our dreams, and that is the goal. And I want to say a specific thing that I wrote down. See, Ernest Holmes had a brilliant concept in the metaphysical chart. God is the field, and God is everything. And if the power of the word activates everything in my life, then it might be useful to know what those words are. And to know if I have, what's the antidote of something not working? Well, there is an antidote, and it's in my spiritual practice, and I can find it. But in this wonderful chart here, imagine that that circle I had is all around here, and I'm in the middle. This is the stuff called the law. And what's interesting about this is these two words on the bottom, which you may not be able to see. Mental blocks and emotional conflicts. That's usually what I will notice if my life isn't working. I'll be noticing I have mental conflicts or emotional challenges with someone or even with myself. The idea being that if we don't we don't realize where it's coming from, and we say, hey, it's all good. Anybody get irritated when you hear it's all good? Yeah. Well, it is all good, but sometimes it isn't. So what do you do with that information when it isn't? That's the point, I think, what he was trying to bring forward is what is the workings of the mind and what gets in our way of having the life of our dreams. But I think you can learn quicker in some ways through his work, because the book you can read in one day. It's so quick. And we really want you to take classes to go deeper with it, though, because in the container of a class, you can then figure out, well, you know, I'm really challenged. Let me just go back to my notes. So being impeccable with our word. We start by understanding that love is not outside of ourselves. And if I feel like it's outside of myself, that's a call. That's a call to go looking at, well, what in the world did I believe?
There's, as I mentioned, there's themes. There's ways that we reject ourselves. There's ways that we reject others. And what we want to do is find another way, and the other way is being impeccable with my word. So I may not realize it, but if I'm gossiping to myself, like I'm driving here and this one person cut me off. Now I have a choice there. I could react or I could respond. And to me, the responding is because I've had some time to consider all this, and I notice that habit, and I take another breath in, and I choose to be present in the present moment. And in the present moment is the vast possibility that that person and I are one. Oh, okay, well that's an interesting thought, because I don't believe that on one level, and I'm triggered on another, but if I take a deep breath in, just after that person did that, I saw a sign as I'm coming up here. I don't know if it says bliss. Anybody see that on the way here? It's on that side of the street. I thought, okay, look, there's choices I can make any minute, all the time, every day. And they don't have to be filled with that first response. And that first response is coming from where? It's coming from that unconscious place where the law and the word that is capable of being a double-edged sword, it'll be good or it'll cut through and be negative. And who wants to make the choice? You know, I do. I want to make that choice now. I want to be conscious of where I'm coming from. So, very important. One more thing about this that I think is interesting is this arrow. Most people don't really understand that. But something you said was so wonderful. The evolution. This arrow represents the concept of involution and evolution. Involution means I'm involving myself in my spiritual practice and my understanding of my life. I'm taking spirit into this exploration of being impeccable with my word. Now I look at, and I'm up against, that judgment of that guy driving. Okay, for a period of time, it's useful to explore what is going on. I'm not going to spend my whole life worrying about this, by the way, because I'm going to be doing some normalcy, like living, right? But there comes a time when if it keeps showing up, it's imperative to sit down, get on that meditation mat, and observe. So the key is to observe. But why am I observing? Because I want to live an intentional life. And when I say I want to live an intentional life, guess what comes up? Anything unlike that intention for healing. And if I have no chart or metaphysical understanding of what's going on, I might think there's no hope, I'll never be able to solve that, and how many times have I been here before and I took my spiritual practice and it didn't work? What is going on there? What's going on is an unreasonable expectation that it should be different than it is. And the wonderful gift of Science of Mind is change your thinking, change your life. It really is possible in the form that thought produces feelings. Most of us don't have that hooked up. Most of us have I can look at my feelings, but we don't ever take it to that next step. Where did that come from? So how patient are we with ourselves? And that's what I think being impeccable with the word causes us to think about. I need to be more patient than I've ever been about that little glitchy thing over there that keeps bothering me, but I pretend it doesn't, and it's all normal and it's all good. So we have implicit bias that's running our world. So there's one place to look at what's going on for myself, but what's going on in the world too? Is this real? What's real? How patient am I to look in that topic? It's imperative that we look. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I wrote that too. The world is our perception. It has a double-edged sword. You can create a beautiful story or a living nightmare. Words are the seeds planted. Words, opinions, ideas are all delivering a message to self, and they generate similar things. So a word of joy, hey, I think over time, thinking about it, guess what happens? Joy. But if I don't, and I never look at what's driving that reaction and take responsibility and accountability for it. Now that's a whole nother workshop, and I'd love to give it to you. No, but there's a huge difference between those two words. Accountability and responsibility. I'm accountable for what's going on in my mind, in my world. And I want to take back how I'm responsible for my feelings. Because guess what? Responsible is about feelings. What's happening in the world, I have to take responsibility for my reaction to it. Not I did that. That is so subtle, I can't tell you how many people in the 80s, after we all took these personal growth seminars, everybody was micromanaging everybody else and saying, how did you create that? And it's none of their business. Thank God we have 12-step programs that woke people up and said, by the way, take your own inventory. It's nobody's business. It's slippery slope, though, when we're in relationship, when we weren't taught. Because guess what? We were taught a lot of things to survive the lives that we were given. And the languaging. So the gift is, as I know it's problematic sometimes, and very verbose. But it's a really necessary journey. And again, let's go back to the words. Being impeccable with our word. He says, and many of the other people with the most current definitions of this book from 25 years ago, that it's the key to all of it. So when in doubt, just keep asking myself, what am I thinking? What words am I activating? It's about me taking accountability for the word that then is out picturing as that belief. I want to tell you, I took a workshop a couple weeks ago. It was 3 weeks long. It was with Matt Kahn. And I decided on purpose to take this class with a beginner's mind. And it was online, and I really don't like those, but I have a high need for taking classes, so I suffered. But what was so interesting is we make an intention. So let me back up. I want to say one thing about this path called Impeccable with our word before I go to that. The key is to observe. The key is to observe. The second piece is to have an intention. Why am I observing that? Why do we even care? Well, if I want a spiritual life and a good understanding of things, then I'm going to put an intention for that. And what I want is an intention for more joy and more connection. And a world that works for everyone. I am bold in that. I believe it's possible, even when the world doesn't produce that result for me. Anyways, so observing, intention, and then hold the dynamic vibration of my intention. Really hold it. So anyways, you don't know this about me, but in 1986, after my respiratory therapy career, became a massage therapist and a bodywork therapist. And I was kind of famous for my skill. And I was a therapist, and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, one of the things that I learned in that, though, was about pain. And so I was saying to somebody earlier, you have to meet pain where it is. You can't gloss over, you can't pretend, you can't ignore. And we have a culture that is trying to normalize, get over it. It's just whatever it is. And it's okay to take your time and understand it. And I have to go back now to Buddhism. I study Buddhism like forever. I've studied with the Dalai Lama. It's just one of my other things I do. Guess what they talk about all the time in every way is suffering. Okay? And we want to ignore that. We want to pretend it doesn't exist. But anyways, one of the things that Don Miguel does say, being impeccable and with our word, is the world is suffering because they're not impeccable with their word, right? They're not impeccable with what is triggering them to judge, be unmerciful, upset, whatever it is. So I'm taking this workshop from Matt. I'm using my beginner's mind. My intention is to have more joy and more understanding of myself today, 3 weeks ago. So he starts the class and he says this one phrase that just saved me and my whole life, forever. And how he said it was, pain is sensation and suffering is explanation. Oh, think about that. Have you had trouble understanding your suffering? And have you judged it, been unmerciful? Well, what we do with it often is belabor it, go on and forever. But if it really is a story, then we have to listen to the words. We have to listen to what's going on. And what's going on in being impeccable with my word is being okay with my pain, loving myself through my pain, loving others in their pain. It's just a phenomenon. But most of us are hurry up and get over that pain, and hurry up and pretend it doesn't exist. And instead, the biggest and most powerful gift is to really open up. Open up more fully, more deeply, and recognize in the middle of that one chart, it says, you. What's going on with you? Where is it coming from? And not judge it, not be cruel to yourself in the judging anybody like that. I was raised Catholic, and I know I was a devout Catholic, and I embodied the wisdom of my mysticism. And it took forever to unravel and find my own authentic voice with the teachings that made sense to me, but not take it hook, line, and sinker and beat myself up forever. Sometimes Eric will just be crazy with me. We worked together for 10 years because I have this Catholic guilt, you know, and I've done codependency, I've trained people for everything. I have classes, you know, we could go on, but there's still some little niggling place within where suffering, but because I'm guilty and I'm a sinner, is there. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea maxa culpa. Now the problem is, I still love Catholicism. By the way, whatever your family of origin story was or religion, you're still it. It didn't go away. But you have choice about how it affects you. And I call myself a transcendent Catholic. I will never not be on the shoulders of my Catholicism. It raised me. There were some beautiful things, but I get to have choice about what is causing me to feel what in my life. So I invite you to consider that's also being impeccable with the word. What is your word? And that's what we're hoping, I think every one of you found religious science on some level because of the words. They're comforting, they're deep, they're meaningful, and they shape life, and they change lives. Although I do believe I was a practitioner and a teacher. If you do the first step of treatment and do nothing else, your life will change. So then that's, again, to me, the beginning of be impeccable with your word, because the word was God. And what part of me believes it or doesn't is what I get to do my prayer work about. Anyways, I want to pull this up just a second. Oh, here it is. So start with self. Be impeccable with yourself. Break lies and stop using words against yourself. Use energy in the direction of truth and love. That action will produce reaction. And your life will be fantastic, unless of course it isn't. But you're trained to be with it now. And sometimes it's just a breath away, isn't it? So, and never gossip about yourself. Boy, have I learned this the hard way. I don't know when it was, but one day I woke up and I told somebody a story. I think I was probably reading the book 25 years ago. And I woke up and I realized I had told someone a story about my mother. And the next time I saw them, that wasn't the truth. Right. Yeah, but that's what they know about my mother. And I was young, and I didn't know. And I've been very careful about our words and what they do and how they can hurt others, just like that. Unless, of course, they don't, because they come to church. But take responsibility of your actions, but don't add to the issues. Look at your life. Be kinder than you think is necessary. Be kinder than you think is necessary to yourself, but also to others. Because the key that this works, as I said, the fourth agreement is about take action. So once you really work with this thing called impeccability and accountability for myself and my world, then there's this really cool thing that can happen. These are my questions, and I invite you to think about them as we go into some prayer work. I have these on my altar all the time. They're just, when I don't remember them, they open me up in a beautiful way. So the first one is, who am I becoming? And can I love the becoming of others? Because guess what? That's stuff of the other. And I believe in that wonderful gift that we say, the ultimate goal of life is to be a complete freedom from discord of every nature. And that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Not just me, by all. Where there's days I don't believe it. I'm a political activist, and it's so painful. This is a dynamic practice for me every day. But I'm not going to give up about peace on earth in my lifetime. I'm just not going to do it. What is seeking to emerge? What is seeking to emerge? Ever since I learned that, I was a vision teacher regionally. And that question is so evocative if you stick with it. If nothing else, what is seeking to emerge from my relationship with God? An awakened consciousness, we are building lives that are sustainable, grounded in spiritual principles, and actually making a difference. And where am I on the continuum of growing? Am I a seed? Am I sprouting? Do I need some nurturing? Am I blooming and I can contribute easily? In Science of Mind, we focus on oneness. God is all there is. And out of that is healing, manifestation, but most importantly, living a fulfilling life. Satisfied that you can contribute to others and make a difference in the world and humanity. As a minister, that kind of triggers me all the time. So, be impeccable with your word. What are your questions that help you? And you may not know right now, okay? But as you go through this book, keep listening to what question do you need to ask yourself that'll keep you sharp and impeccable with your word about yourself and the world at large. So before we go into prayer, you have prayer cards. I invite you to take a minute and audaciously, what's the word? Audaciously, thank you. I'm not reading my notes. What area are you needing support about being impeccable with your word? Is there a topic? Is there a theme? What have you noticed in this talk today? Because we also are so bold that we say prayer works if we declare it. So take a risk here today. Write that down. Whether a phrase or one word you want to focus on. Be gentle with yourself. And as you're considering that, I want you to consider this phrase by Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. in our response lies our growth and our freedom. There is no topic that God is not there. You may believe that, but I think it's time. Time to assume a new posture. So keep realizing that you just wrote an intention, and now you're giving yourself a gift of observing that in the next period of time. But remember what I said earlier about how patient are you? Are you willing to hang in until you see that result commingle with your beliefs, your intentions, your life? Hang in. Taking a deep breath in. Just notice that a breath is in the present moment. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, and yet your body knows what to do. It's a breath. And a breath is a small action, but it's life itself. It is God. It is the mystery of life itself. The first thing we do and one of the last things we do is pray and breathe. But that's my interpretation of breath, that it's a prayer for living. And it's right there with you all the time, everywhere. Which seems not eternal, you're going to let it go now. Eternally love, eternally health, eternally brilliantly shining who you really are in the world. Brilliantly capable of sharing who you are. Observing and noticing the end game. You said you wanted what? Mine was joy. And mine was getting comfortable that pain isn't the end. And suffering is an explanation. Intend, awaken to your freedom to be your authentic self. Let the answers come of how to be impeccable with yourself. New ideas, fresh perspectives, new relating. You know, I remind you that you taught people how to treat you. If something different is needed in the world, you need to teach them who you are now and what you are now. Not with resentment, doubt. Well, healthy doubt maybe, but let go and let God influence you now with your relationship with yourself and others. And the law of elimination will assist you, and the law of reciprocity will greet you everywhere you go. Blessings as we move out from the end of this service, bringing what? And so it is. Thank you.
Reverend Jardine. So I'd like to welcome back Sheila Kay, and accompanied by Jal Feldman. Since we've done our prayer request, this is the opportunity to then seal our intention with an offering. However that shows up for you. So if you'll take a moment, please, to just be a part of how God shows up as Genesis. Take a moment for that. So if you feel called, just place your offering and your prayer to your heart as we say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am thankful. So it is. Stand up and sing our abundance song. List of things to do.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my joy, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings.
I want to remind everybody that I'm on the mic. I want to remind everybody that our practitioner of the day, Christine S. Young in this case, is available for prayer support. However that also looks for you, a celebration, a worry, a concern, a fear, or whatever it is. She will take a moment with you. You might notice we have a couple of chairs over here for you to be able to do that. So, thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you again next week. I hope that your week is filled with joy and with love and with true connection. Sheila's going to sing us out. Please stand and join her.
Also, Eric said I could give a commercial. So on March 11th, I'm doing a very special show with some other artists called Our Stories. So I think it was perfect that she talked about stories today. We will be doing some storytelling and live music. So it's going to be really wonderful. Only $20 at the door. I hope to see you there March 11th in Columbia City. There's some flyers over there. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. So if you're struggling, trying to make